What's up, people? I am back. Sorry, I haven't done a video in a bit. I wanted to take some time off because WrestleMania season, and it was WrestleMania weekend. But I am back now, so I plan on at least doing 3 or 4 videos this week. So we'll kind of get back on to my normal schedule now. But today, this right now is gonna be a wrestling related one. It's basically gonna be how I would book John Cena as champion. I guess this would be kind of a part two to the video I just did about John Cena must win now that he's won. And I guess I'll give my quick little WrestleMania thoughts, but I'll probably save those for Saturday when I do it for Pin Down. But I'm also gonna be doing we're gonna be roasting G20 with Viola Davis, that movie as of now is arguably the worst film of the year so far. It was painful. Like everything about it. I have no real positives at all. It was obviously your usual girl boss movie. Viola Davis clearly phoned it in. Me and Cowman were watching it, and we both were just like she just phoning it in. They don't make her likable at all. And it sucks because Anthony Starr seemed like the only one who kind of gave a shit, but everything else was just absurd. So I'll be going into that tomorrow or today. I'll try to do that tonight, and then tomorrow, gonna review a movie. It's actually gonna be a good movie that I saw on Sunday. Drop. I finally went to go see it. Calman actually convinced me to go see it in the theater because I originally was just gonna probably wait for streaming, but be honest with you, it's really good. It was a nice mystery. It's not a horror movie at all. It's more like a thriller, maybe suspense a little bit too. Throw that in there, but it's definitely not horror. So I'll be talking about that tomorrow. So at least we'll be reviewing something good. And then I think Thursday I'll do The Electric State, which is another really bad movie I saw within the last couple weeks. And then I think Friday I'll finally get to Wild Wild West. So if not, I'll do that on the weekend. But anyway, today we're going to be talking about how I would book John Cena as champion and what I would be doing with him. So this video could potentially be a little bit on the longer side. We'll see. Put my booking hat on because I guess really quick, let's get into my thoughts on WrestleMania 41 overall are. Night one was I almost was gonna say shit. I don't think I'll say that, but it was mid. If I'm gonna be nice and say something, it's mid. Outside of the main event, which CM Punk, Rollins, and Reigns was not just match of night one. I think it's arguably the best match of the entire WrestleMania card. Just that match really delivered. Night two is much better, but then the main event they dropped the ball on because The Rock didn't appear, and I'm gonna be cursing up a storm about that on Saturday. Um, so it's just yeah. But anyways, let's get into this video. Subscribe to Pin Down Podcast. We should be back on Saturday, giving our probably is gonna be mainly a WrestleMania review, probably some other stuff, but yeah. But look out for that. So, kickoff. So they're already kind of. They're already kind of. They're already kind of doing the first thing I would do, which is Randy. I saw someone make this point, and it's kind of true. They really do need to try to make Cena hate it, because right now, and I don't know if it was because of the Vegas crowd, because Vegas sometimes it's one of those crowds that boos the faces and cheers the heels. It's one of those. Like, it's kind of like Chicago, if you remember WrestleMania 22. Booed Cena, cheered Triple H, who was the heel. So it's one of those crowds. So I think Randy Orton is a good pick. Because that's a good way to kick it off. Granted, I know a lot of people thought, okay, I was even seeing a lot of people say Randy probably should have been Cena's last opponent. You could theoretically still do that. But Randy is really over. And Backlash is going to be in St. Louis. So it makes sense to have Randy. If you're going to have Backlash in St. Louis, I always thought Randy and Cena was the smart move, because Randy in St. Louis, give him a big match. Don't just, it's St. Louis, but we'll just have Randy do some mid shit. Like, no. Give him a big spot. I think him and Cena, that would be a perfect main event. I do want to see a segment, because I think Cena's supposed to be on SmackDown Friday. I'm assuming Randy's going to be there too. Give me a segment. Give me a segment between these two. Just a war of words. If it can get physical again, maybe Cena gets his get back, or Randy RKO's him again. I don't care either way. But let them have a war of words. I want to see a heel Cena face Orton dynamic. That is something we've never seen. We've seen, obviously, the classic Orton's the heel, Cena's the face, but there's been times where they were both baby faces when they fought each other. But we've never seen a heel Cena face Orton. So I want to see this. So I would love to see a promo this Friday. I think Cena should win at Backlash, since it's only like 2 weeks away. I think it wouldn't make any sense. Like, if Backlash was later in May, then I could see someone saying maybe Randy, but I don't know if I don't think Randy should win at all. I like Randy, but I don't think he needs a title right now. I think heel Cena, you need to drag that out. I personally, if you're asking me, I would have Cena be heel until the last day. If you're asking me, I would have him heel through basically December. And then that last match, he turns face after. I think that's the way to go. And then, okay, I guess we can move on to, so Randy, I'm going to have Cena win at Backlash. It's probably going to be dirty. And then, we got Saturday night's main event, which Cena's supposed to be there. I don't think he even needs to wrestle, honestly, the more I think about it. I guess you could throw him in a quick program with, someone like an LA Knight, if, let's say, LA Knight doesn't get drafted. Because LA Knight as a face against Cena, that would be a good rub. And that's like a Saturday night's main event. If you're going to do Cena at Saturday night's main event, if he's going to wrestle, be something like that. I wouldn't do one of or I guess you could do him and Randy again. If, let's say, there's a dirty Cena cheats. Honestly, I saw someone tweet this and I kind of agree with it. If you remember No Way Out 2008, when Randy Orton was fighting Cena and Randy Orton knew he was going to lose, so he straight up just slapped the referee to get disqualified. That would be awesome if Cena did that as a good callback. Cena just smacked the referee. And then, Saturday night's main event, you can make it a no rules match. So you can drag it out another extra couple of weeks, So I wouldn't hate that, but there's that option. You could do someone like an LA Knight, where if, let's say, you're kind of done with Orton for now, and I kind of get the idea. You don't want to do Randy Orton and Cena at a Saturday night's main event. You could just do him and LA Knight. That could be a quick throwaway match. Or, personally, I would just have Cena do a segment. I think, because Saturday night's main event isn't really a pay-per-view, and I'm assuming bitch-ass Jey Uso is going to have a world title match at Saturday night's main event, so you can have Cena do a segment, and then maybe you involve Randy, and then you could stretch it to Money in the Bank. Because as much as ideally in a perfect world, I guess we could jump ahead to Money in the Bank, I would do Punk and Cena Money in the Bank, call back to Money in the Bank 2011. You could either have Punk do some kind of qualifying match or something where Punk gets an opportunity, or Punk just straight up confronts Cena. You could just do that. I want to do that at Money in the Bank, and you can even add that into the store. Maybe Punk's like, I'm challenging you, John. Do it where it all started, Money in the Bank. I think that would be the best option. The only reason I'm having a little bit doubts they're gonna do it, I think they're still gonna do him and Punk, but it seems like right now with what happened last night on Raw, with Seth's new group, it really seems like they're gonna do Punk's gonna be in the feuding with Rollins and Heyman for a while, teaming up with Roman. So I have a feeling that's gonna go for a while. So there's a chance maybe they don't do Punk and Cena till like maybe SummerSlam or after SummerSlam. If you're asking me, Money in the Bank, I think that's the best option. And then you could still tie the feud in with Seth. Maybe Seth cost him, and you could still have Seth and Braun throughout that. Maybe try to cost Punk, and that can be the builder. So you can still tie it in. But I think Punk and Cena at Money in the Bank is the right way to go. I think obviously the history, the build up, the tie in. But if, let's say, for whatever reason they don't actually go that route, you could do Randy Orton Cena too, at Money in the Bank, because then they're already feuding into May, and if let's say they don't have the match at Saturday's main event, like I said, and it's like a segment, and then Randy Orton RKO's them, we can continue it, and maybe it's a no rules match or something, and this is where Cena can get the win, and then. Trying to think and I think it's Revolution 2, which that's the girls pay-per-view, so I don't think there's a pay-per-view really in July until August, really. So after Money in the Bank, really it's SummerSlam, because I'm going to be real, I don't really count Evolution 2. I am not counting that. So SummerSlam, there's a couple options. Obviously Cody, that's like the number one, like Cody's back by this point. Maybe and he gets his rematch. You do Cody Cena too at SummerSlam. So I'm gonna write this two ways, because I'm okay with Cody Cena, but I honestly think you should save that. What I would do Punk Cena at SummerSlam. If for whatever reason they don't do it at Money in the Bank, you do it at SummerSlam. That's a big SummerSlam night 1 match. Night 2, actually. Night 2 main event. They've also fought at SummerSlam 2011. And I think Punk and Cena deserve a little bit of time. Like, at least a couple month feud. But something tells me they're actually just going to do Cody. And maybe that's where Cody gets the title back. This is what I would do with Cody. I'd have him feud with, like, a Drew McIntyre. Someone like that throughout these couple of months to try to really rebuild them getting back into that WWE title scene. And... man, The Rock fucked this whole build up, and I'm gonna talk about that more on Saturday, because if The Rock was around, everyone was talking about this whole team corporate thing where it was gonna be this corporate faction. We don't even know if that's happening now, because The Rock's bitch ass is in here, and I don't know if he'll be here by this point. Will he be here by around SummerSlam? I guess if he is, you do the story of Cody trying to get his road back to the title. And I guess SummerSlam, that Cody Cena 2 SummerSlam makes sense. I personally would just go with Punk. Save Cody for whenever they do that MSG show later in the year. Clash in Paris, do him and AJ. I think a face AJ against a heel Cena in Paris would work. That's a good enough main event. That's one of those matches you can get out the way. It doesn't need to be a long-term feud. It can literally just be for this pay-per-view. And then there you go. And then I guess we get later into the year. If The Rock is around, let's just say, we finally do this corporate faction. You got Rock's team of Seth, Braun, Cena, and maybe you throw Drew in there. And then versus, I guess it would be the face team. I'm thinking like Cody, Roman, Punk. Maybe, I'm trying to think who would be that fourth. WWE would probably be fucking bitch ass Jey Uso, but in my mind, it should be someone who's actually over. Like LA Knight, I wouldn't mind. You do a big. Fuck, I hate that War Games is still around, because I don't think Cena's gonna do a War Games match. I mean, he did do an Elimination Chamber, and I guess you could do that if maybe that's the War Games match is Team WWE versus Team Rock's corporate team. And then by December, maybe that's where you do Cody Cena. That's actually where I think I do Cody Cena too. You do that whatever the December pay per view is. I think that'd be the perfect place to do it. Let Cena hold the title for most of his run. I think it makes the most sense. And then obviously, I think this is where after he loses the title, you can do the turn back, and then you let him do his little farewell tour as a babyface, the last bit of it. You know? I think, but for me, Cena needs to be a heel for most of it. I think this is the most interesting direction they can go with it, with heel Cena holding the title. Him and Punk, but you got to run back those old feuds, obviously. Punk, Orton, Styles, hell, Reigns. Maybe you do Punk and Roman at like Cena and Roman. Whenever I think they're gonna do. I think the only, from what I heard, the only Saudi show this year is Night of Champions. So whenever they do Night of Champions, maybe that's where you do Roman and Cena. Because I actually think that'd be a good feud too. Just the mic work. I mean, their promos from 2021 were great, but imagine a heel Cena where he's basically let loose versus current Roman. Dude, that's gonna be fucking great. I'm obviously between him and Punk too, but just Roman can carry his own. So a face Roman against a heel Cena in the battle of the mic. I think that would be good. So you do that like at whenever I think Night of Champions is supposed to be the Saudi show this year. So whenever they do that, that's your Saudi match. You know? I think that'd be perfect. And maybe this is where you tie in Rock and Roman. Maybe Rock cost Roman the match in some way. Like, I think that's how you could tie that in if you really do want to do Rock Roman next year, if they ever actually fucking do it. But yeah. So that's mostly how I would book it. I really think Cena's champion needs to be heel through majority of it, and I really would like it to go through December. I know a lot of people are thinking it's going to end at SummerSlam, but I think for me, stretching it to December doesn't hurt. I think it's a more interesting direction. You know, you could turn him babyface after, but I need to see this heel run. I want to see where this goes, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying every bit of it. That RKO last night was great. So I'm just ready to see him and Randy's War of Words on SmackDown. I want to see them go at it, verbally. Because I think they would have a nice back. Same with him and Punk. Like, you could have it be like, you go this angle of Punk and Orton being the guys who, when they were feuding, were usually the heel most of the time. Being like, you're supposed to be the better of us. Kind of go that angle of it. Even like having even them mention like, even when we were at our height of our feud, I always respected you because you actually stuck to your guns, and then this happens. You could really go into that. I really think that would be interesting. I say specifically Punk and Orton should kind of go that route with it. Really lay that in, like, I always respected you because you stuck to your guns, and then you do this shit, That would be an interesting direction. I really want to see that. So, I'm really interested to see where they go, and I'm happy they got the right result. Obviously, I didn't love necessarily how he got there, but we at least got the right winner. Cena is the champion, and I think that's the more interesting direction. But yeah, guys, that's mostly how I would book his heel run as champion. But let me know what you guys think. Tonight, I'm planning on tonight anyway. We're gonna roast the fuck out of G20. The action's bad, dumb characters, plot convenience, the acting from Viola Davis is so bad. And it's weird because Viola Davis is actually, like, when she tries, she's a good actress. Like, even in like the first Suicide Squad, even with all its problems, she's good as Amanda Waller. And her acting is decent in that movie, so it's not like she's a bad actress. It's just She clearly did not give a fuck. I think this was a case of she either just didn't care at all or she knew the script was shit. Because there's actors that are like that, where they like know the script shit, so they're just gonna kind of phone it in. And that's what this felt like because it's wild to me. Because, like I said, I think she is a good actress when she tries. You know, granted, to be fair, there was no material to work with. Um, the whole crypto shit was dumb, to be honest with you. And then there was a dumb random turn in the end. And you could tell this film was made because, let's just be real, they thought Kamala was winning. They thought Kamala was gonna win the election. And that's what this movie was. I mean, that's how many. That's a lot of people were joking about it. This was basically Kamala the movie. But I'm gonna go into there's something about the movie where they make you think she's supposed to be like Kamala, but she doesn't actually feel like Kamala. And I'm gonna go more into that later. But yeah, it's a bad one. It's she's beating up like 300-pound dudes. It's just like how. At least I'll say Viola Davis isn't a twig. Like she has some muscle, but still, I don't buy that she'd be beating up these dudes even with muscle. So anyway, talk about that later. Subscribe to Pin Down Podcast. And that's about it. I mean, wrap it here. Alright, y'all. Talk to y'all later.